Today we are going to travel the dark roads in Merchants of the Dark Roads. This is a 1 to 4 player game, around 60 to 120 minutes of gameplay. This is about you traveling the dark roads, selling goods, buying goods, delivering heroes. I will show you how to set up this game. I will show you how to play this game, so once you have watched this video, well, you are ready to take on the role as a merchant. So let's just have a look at this beautiful, beautiful game. This here is the setup of the game. We need to start by connecting the big boards together to create the big board in the center of the map. Up here we have the different resources. We have some coins, some lanterns, horseshoes, quartz. This is all the equipment that we will craft and buy and sell during our game. We got some illuminated dye, and this here are the companions. Now we need to place out 4 buildings on the building spots on the table. You can pick these randomly, but if it's your first game, we recommend to start with the Blazing Quartz Mine, Otto's Lantern Works, the Oracle of Lumi, and Yield's Workshop. We now need to open the Great Bazaar, which is this wheel. We need to take 1 die and roll it, and put it on the spot matching the die. Then we put that die facing number 5. And we keep on refilling the market after 4, 3, 2, and 1, putting each die on their corresponding symbol. Next we need to fill the commission spot on Queen's Commission. There are 6 different commission spaces for you to fill, all with their own destination. You can see a symbol next to the destination name. This is where you should put that pile on the board, all faced up. Now we set up the ruins of Yin. We need to take the ruin marker, which is this little token with a map, and place it in the bottom left corner of the ruin space. Next to the ruins we also put the ruin die. Next we need to shuffle and set up the events. There are 2 different event decks, one with no lantern and one with lanterns on them. We need to separate these decks, shuffle them, and put them face down next to the table. In the travel area we need to put the Wagon Upgrades at the bottom, and we put these in a stack, just like that, in the bottom of the travel area. Beneath the travel area we also put 5 coins. Then we need to set up some companions that will follow along on our travels. We take the companion deck, shuffle it, put it face down. And then we put out 3 faced up companions next to the deck. And we put 1 travel die on the last companion. The rest of the travel dice goes beneath the event deck. In the dark market we place the dark market token in the bottom section of the dark market wheel. Next thing we need to do is to set up the ringway in. We need to take the heroes that are not a part of the starting heroes. You can see this by looking at the top right corner. The starting heroes will have a symbol. These should be removed from the hero deck. Then we need to shuffle the hero deck, put it face down on the spot in the ringway in, and take the top 4 heroes and place them out in the hero market. Last thing we do on the board is to reveal some good deeds. We take the good deed deck, shuffle it, and put 2 cards faced up. And then we finish by putting out our little caravan token corresponding to your player color and put them between the ringway in and the Great Bazaar. And then we take our little prestige marker and put it on 0 on the victory track. So that was the setup of the table. Now we need to set up our player area. So this here is your player area. Each player needs to take a wagon in a color of their liking, and then take the little wagon and prestige marker and put out on the map as I showed you before. We then need to take 7 night die and 1 illuminated die. we need to put out 3 die with 1, 2 and 3 facing up on the 3 locked slots. The rest of the dice are rolled and then put with that result facing up in the main reserve. Then we need to roll the illuminated die and put it with that result in the illuminated die space. You can have a max of 2 illuminated dice. Then you need to take 1 deed card, look at it and put it face down in your player area without the other players seeing it. We then need to take 1 horseshoe and put in our supply. Here you have 3 spots and you cannot have more than these 3. If you ever get more than 3, you need to discard 1 to get in the new horseshoe or quartz. Now we need to take our starting good, and this is depending on which order you're sitting in the table. The first player takes 1 good with a value of 5 from the market. The second player takes a good with the value of 4 and 1 coin. The third player takes a good with the value of 3 and then takes 2 coins instead. And the fourth player takes a good with the value of 2 and 3 coins. Now we also need to take a random starting hero and take the bonus from that hero. In this case here on Mary we get a lantern. We also need to take a steed at random. These steeds will give us special benefits that will last throughout the game. We put this face up on the right of our wagon. We are in the land of Lumi, and the great watchmakers have slowed down time quite a bit. So now day and night lasts an entire year, meaning that each season lasts for 13 weeks, which is quite good if it's spring and summer, but if it's winter you have 13 weeks of complete darkness. We have just entered winter, which is why we're in the dark road, because there's no lights in this world right now. This game will last 13 rounds, indicating the 13 weeks. During our turns, we will be merchants, traveling this world. We will be delivering heroes, we will be selling goods, we will be getting money, and by delivering heroes and goods to the outlying towns, we will get victory points. Moving on this track, the player with the most victory points in the end of the game is, well, the winner. Depending on which commissions or heroes you have, you need to deliver them to specific cities. And you can do this in 2 different ways, which I will show you in a bit. The game starts with the first player taking their turn to the fullest. Then the player to the left take their turn, and then the player to their left going around the table doing their turns until we have done the 13 rounds. We will know when the 13 rounds have ended by the dice slowly getting fewer and fewer in our supply. Each player turn is played out during 4 different steps. The first one is planning. The first thing you can choose to do during the planning phase is to reset your dice in the locked spaces, meaning putting them to 1, 2 and 3 if you have moved these die before. If this is your first round, of course you will not need to do this as they're already in these positions. Now you need to select one of the 3 actions. You do this by taking 1 die from your main reserve and bumping one of the 3 dice from the 3 locked spaces into the action space. Up here we see 2 different placements. This one here is for the night die, but this one here is if you also can activate an illuminated die. So what do the 3 different actions do? The first action available will let you craft a basic good. We would do this by simply taking 1 die from the main supply, bumping the other die up to the action space, and putting the die from our main supply on the locked space. Now we need to use the value from the new die that we have just moved up and look at the crafting chart. As we can see, we have a value of 1, meaning that we can craft an armor. These goods have 2 sides, one with the basic side and another one with a golden side. This is the upgraded side, but these here will only let you produce basic good. This here is your storage, and you can put in as many goods as you can fit into this spot. In action number 2, you have 2 choices. Either you can take a lantern and put it into your supply, or you get to take the illuminated die and activate it. In slot number 3, you also have 2 choices. Either you get 2 coins, or you get to rotate the market wheel 1 spot. All of these 3 spots can be upgraded by traveling. I will show you that in a bit. So that's the way you do the planning action. It's not that hard, right? You take 1 die from the main supply, you bump 1 of the 3 dice from your locked position up to your action space. You do the action that you have chosen, either to craft, to get lantern or illuminated die, or to get money or rotate the disc out on the board. Now, the die that we have just placed up here in the action space will determine how many steps that we will get to move out on the board. In this case, we can move 1 step. So now we move into step number 2, and this is where we simply move our little caravan out on the map. We move our wagon out on the ringway in the center part of the map, and we move it in clockwise order. And like I said, depending on how much amount you have on the die that you have just put up into your action space, that's the amount of movements you can do out on the map. So in this case, you could do 1 movement because you have a number 1 on your die. But you could also choose to use your little horseshoe. This will let you either move 1 more step in clockwise order or move 1 step back. So these can be quite handy to have to be able to actually move back again if you do not want to move as far as your die is showing. Because if it's showing 4 steps, well then you are moving 4 steps. If it shows 3 steps, then you move 3 steps on the map. But if it's not showing anything at all, well, then you do not move. Now, depending on where you end up on the map, you can do different types of actions. As you can see here, we have some districts, but we also have the towns. These are the ones that we placed out. The districts are always the same, but the towns will change depending on, well, which towns you place out. If you played an illuminated die and a night die, you get to do the district action of both the districts, but also the town action. Because then you would be placing 1 die at the first location and the illuminated die on the second location, indicating that you have activated these 2 districts and then also activated the town action as well. But if you only play the night die and not the illuminated die, you only get to do that district's action, meaning the first district action and not the town or the second district action. But what do these different actions do? Well, they do quite a lot. The Great Bazaar will let you twist this one step and or reset any die in the market, meaning that you could take a die and change its value. But it will also let you buy goods. To do this, we need to look at the value of the good we would like to buy. If we would like to buy armor, for example, it would cost us 5 coins. And we would need to pay 5 coins to get 1 basic armor. All of these here are only basic goods. If there would have been 2 armor in this space, we would only pay for 1 of them, meaning that we would get 2 armor, but we would only pay 5 coins. The goods that you have chosen are then removed from the market board for now. Then we have the Queen's Commission. This district here will let you take 1 of the topmost commissions. As you can see, there are 6 different commission piles, all corresponding to their own town. The goods they're showing up here is the goods that you need to deliver to this town. So when you pick a commission, be sure to pick one where you have the most goods. When you pick one of these commissions, you put them to the left of your wagon. And as you can see, you can have a maximum of 3 commissions. The ringway inn will let you bring 1 hero to your caravan. As you can see here, they have some goods on their cards. These are the goods that they require to actually come along with you. And you need to sell at least one of these goods to get these heroes to your caravan. But when you sell these goods, you will also get the corresponding value of this good based on the current value of the market. Meaning that in this case here, for example, if you sell 1 staff, you would get 1 coin. And then you would be able to take this hero with you to your caravan. But you could also keep on selling these goods below if you have them. If you would have sold upgraded goods in this case, you would also get 1 quartz per upgraded goods that you sold. But in this case, we only have the basic ones. Once you have sold the goods that you want and can, you take that hero and you place it on the top of your caravan. And you can have a maximum of 3 heroes at a time. When you receive a hero, you also receive the bonus stated on that hero's card. In this case, 1 lantern. If we end up on the dark market, we first need to move the market token. And we do this by paying 1 coin. We need to move it at least 1 step during our visit. But we could move it up to 4 steps. But then we would need to pay 4 coins. The west, north and east spot on the market wheel will provide you with 2 basic goods. But the one in the bottom will give you either 1 commission or 1 good deed and the bonus stated next to it. Meaning that if you pick this one up here, you would get 2 victory points. But if you pick this one down here, you would get 1 basic good and a horseshoe. These good deeds are bonuses that you will get at the end of the game. In this case here, you will get 1 victory point per gifted companion. But up here you would get 2 victory points for delivering 3 commissions to these towns. You can also choose to take 1 card from the face down pile. If you choose to do that, you will not get the bonuses. The last action we could do is Yurik's Excursions. Here we can choose to either travel to the ruins of Jin or one of the outlying towns. And this is where things get a little bit tricky. When we decide that we want to go out on a little trip, we first need to decide if we want to go to the towns or the ruins of Yin. If we want to go to the ruins, well, it's not that hard. First we need to move the little ruin marker here on the ruin space. And we need to move it at least 1 space. But we can move it more spaces depending on how many heroes we have in our wagon. Because we can move the token 1 space per hero. And now we will get the benefits on this tablet. The top 2 and the bottom right will give you the option to choose between 2 different upgraded goods. The bottom left will let you choose 1 upgraded goods. And remember, the upgraded goods are the side with the gold on them. So be sure to flip your little goods around so you remember that. Now you also have an option to spend 1 lantern to roll the ruin die. And if you choose to do that, you will get the benefits stated on that die. Depending on what you roll, you will of course get different things. This will let you do the ruin action 1 more time. This one will let you take 1 basic goods from the supply worth 1 coin, based on the market price. This will let you take a hero. This here will let you take a quartz. This here will let you re-roll this die once again, and if you get the same result twice, you get to take an illuminated die. And lastly, this one will let you take 2 coins. That was how you travel to the ruins of Jin. But if you do not want to travel there, you can choose to go to one of the outlying cities to deliver goods or heroes instead. To do this, you need to first pick a companion, one of the available up next to the companion deck. The companion that you have chosen goes next to your player board, and they all have abilities down here at the bottom that you can activate. But you need to pay a quartz. These abilities will only be activated once. You can also choose to draw the top card if you don't like any of the companions that are already there faced up. If you take the one that has the travel die, you take that die. Now, you need to declare which town you would like to visit, but also which route you would like to choose. Either if you choose the dark road, meaning that you do not pay any lanterns, or if you choose the shortcut instead. Here you would need to pay 3 lanterns to be able to pick this one. Once you have declared where you're going and how you're going there, you need to ask your fellow players if they want to come along. If one of the players want to come along, or all the players want to come along, you need to take travel dice according to the amount of travelers going out on this epic journey. Now we need to take a look at the events. Now we need to reveal the event from the road that we have chosen. In this case here, we choose to spend 3 lanterns to take the shortcut. The big difference between the dark road and the shortcuts is that here you get to choose 2 good fortunes at the end of the travel. When you choose the dark road, you only get to choose 1. And on the shortcuts, you also get better benefits. So now we need to roll the die and place them out beneath our event. Now the travelers get to choose 1 die. If this would have been the dark roads, the leader of the caravan, meaning the one that started the travel, would have been able to choose first, and then followed by the other travelers in clockwise order. But this here is a shortcut. So now the traveler to the left of the leader of the caravan gets to choose first, then followed by the rest of the travelers in clockwise order. Before a traveler chooses a die, they can choose to spend 1 lantern to re-roll all remaining travel dice once. But if they don't want to do that, they can simply choose one of the available. Once they have chosen, we need to compare that value to the value on the event card. You can see some black symbols here, meaning that this is what you will gain. So in this case here, this player would gain 2 prestige points or 1 upgraded good. But if we look over here, we can see that we have some red symbols instead, meaning that here they would actually need to pay instead. They would need to get rid of 1 hero, and in this case here, they would need to get rid of one basic goods. When we're done with the events, we get to visit the towns that we would like to visit. The travel leader needs to visit the town that they said that they would visit at the start of the travel action. The other players can visit any of the other outlying towns that they feel like would benefit them the most. In this case here, the leader visits Vinglass and have a chance of delivering any of these goods. Depending on how many goods they can deliver, if you deliver 1 good, you would get 1 prestige. But if you deliver 2, you would get 3. And if you manage to deliver 3, you would get 6. You also get 1 extra prestige per upgraded goods that you manage to deliver. If a player managed to deliver a hero to the town they would like to go to, they get the bonus stated beneath that town. In this case, 1 prestige and 1 coin per hero they deliver to Night Poem. As the caravan leader, you now also get 1 or 2 good fortunes, depending on if you choose the dark road or the shortcut, remember? And here you can choose to gain 1 illuminated die from the supply, roll the die and place it in your special reserve, or gain 1 available good deed and its bonus, or gain 3 coins. The first player to choose this actually gains 5 coins instead of 3. Or lastly, gain 1 of the available wagon upgrades and place them on your player board. These small wagon upgrades here goes into your wagon and now gives you a permanent benefit. And depending on what you choose, you will of course get different benefits, but they are quite powerful. So keep that in mind when you go out traveling to actually try to get these. The little lantern I showed you here, for example, will let you roll the ruin die without spending any lanterns. But this little horse here, for example, will give you one extra steed to use in your wagon and use that ability as well. And then we have the little action tokens here. These ones here will go down on one of your 3 available action spots, depending on which one you choose, of course. This one here, for example, will get you 3 coins or 1 prestige every time you use it, which is quite powerful. But then we have this one here. This one will give you 2 victory points at the end of the game, but you need to keep it in your storage. You can, however, move it around any way you would like to, and it stays here until the end of the game. This one here will let you do upgraded goods instead of basic goods, which is also quite powerful. And the last one here will let you gain 1 lantern and activate 1 illuminated die every time you use this action. So like I said, they are quite powerful. And that was the travel action. This one is the most complex action in the whole game, and it's the one that takes a little bit of time. But it's also here that you can gain a lot of victory points, upgrades, or other benefits from the events. The heroes and the commissions that you have delivered goes face down in your player area. And this that I just showed you was the district actions. But we also have the town actions, remember? The Blazing Quartz Mine will give you 1 Blazing Quartz from the supply. Otto's Lantern's Work will give you 1 good with the market value of 1. Will give you 1 prestige and 1 lantern. The Oracle Illumi will let you roll the Oracle die and get the benefit shown on that die. In this case 2 prestige, 1 commission, 2 lanterns, 1 quartz, or 1 basic good. Yield's Workshop will let you take 1 of your basic goods and upgrade it to an upgraded one and give you 1 lantern. Queen's Eye Survivor will let you choose to either get rid of 1 quartz or 2 coin to gain 3 prestige. The Guildmaster Mansion will let you trade any number of the following items at a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 Blazing Quartz, 1 lantern, or 2 coins. The Candle Quartz will let you spend 1 goods or pay 2 coins to gain 1 hero or 1 commission. The Frosted Fillet will let you spend 1 goods, pay 2 coin to gain an upgraded goods instead. The Icebreaker Harbor will let you gain any goods that are currently not on the market wheel. Whenever you get prestige, you simply take your little prestige marker and move it up that amount on the prestige track. So that is all the actions you can do, which I said is a lot, and it is. You can do the town actions, you can do the district actions, you can go out traveling to the ruins or to the cities, and you can get commissions, you can get heroes. There are a lot of things for the players to do during their turn. And be sure to use your little illuminated dice here in the right way, because if you can get that die out there and activate all of these 3 actions, well then you can do all of them in any order you would like to. Meaning that if you first would get supplies from the dark market and then do the little city action, then you can go out traveling and bringing those goods with you to actually complete the little commission missions you have or delivering heroes. So there are a lot of strategy in using these actions the right way in the right order. But once a player is done taking their turn, they take back their little die from the placement that they have placed it out. The little night die here goes outside of the board. Now that one is spent. But the illuminated die is re-rolled and goes back to your supply again. Now when we come to round number 4, 7 and round number 10, your main reserve will be empty. Now it's time for you to remove 1 die from the game, and then re-rolling the die that you still have and refilling your main reserve. Eventually, you will only have 3 night die left, indicating that these are your 3 final actions. But once a player have taken their turn, taken back their dice, we also have a little bit of cleanup to do on the table itself. If any market dice were set aside during this turn, we need to re-roll that die and place it back on the board. There can, however, be a maximum of 2 goods on each spot on the market board. If any companions were used during this turn, we need to slide the ones that are left to the right and draw a new companion. If there is a die missing from the one to the far right, we need to place a new travel die on that companion. If any hero cards were drawn during this turn, we need to refill that spot with the topmost card from the draw deck. And if any deed cards were drawn during this turn, we need to refill them as well. And that's how you play Merchants of the Dark Road. Each player do their turn to the fullest. They take 1 die from the main supply, put it up into the locked die position, and take that die and move that up to the action spot. They then do the action that they have chosen on their board. Then we move out on the main board itself, move the amount of steps that we indicate on our action die, and then we get to do the actions out here by taking either a night die or a night die and an illuminated die and put it out on the spaces on the board to activate these cities or districts. And man, is there a lot of things to do, like I've just shown you. Once the player have done their turn, well, we do a little fast upkeep and then we move on to the player to our left. This is the way we do it for 13 rounds. When we come to round number 4, 7 and 10, we will lose some die and eventually we will have no dice left. When we come to the last die, in the last round, each player will have the opportunity to take 1 last travel action, to go out and deliver the goods or the heroes that they can deliver. But that is all that they can do. So we do not do any events, we do not get any extra good fortunes, we do not bring companions or anything. No, we simply pick a town, we go there and we deliver whatever we can to get hopefully some more prestige points or get some more coins. Once we have done this, well, it's time for us to see who have actually won the game. Now we need to reveal how many coins we have collected during our game, but also if we have completed any good deeds, and add this up to our prestige. The player with the most scores, well, wins the game. So did I like this game? Yes, I like this game a lot. I mean, there's no fighting here, there's no wars, there's no miniatures, but there is a lot of things going on the board. There is a lot of things for the players to do. Yes, it does take you a little bit time to learn the game because there's a lot of symbols in this game. But once you have gotten the symbols right, well, you can simply look on the board and everything will just make sense for you. But like I said, it will take you a little bit of time to get the symbols right. Once you've done that, well, it's simply just to start playing. And to get into what you can do, what you cannot do, that does not take that long time. If you have an advanced player with you that have played this a few times, well, after a few turns you know exactly what you want or do not want to do. There are a few different ways of you to get scores in this game. There is a few different ways of you to upgrade your wagon, get heroes, get commissions, get goods, and that will also take you a little bit of time to just get the right strategy. But then again, that's the fun part of this game, because there are a lot of different roads for you to explore and go out and travel on. And there is a solo mode in this game, a quite good solo mode. Instead of competing against other players, you compete against the private concerns. The private concerns will do different actions depending on which town or district they land in. The private concerns have their own action deck. On these cards you can see where the private concern will be placed, what kind of bonus they get, and what kind of possible actions they will do. But you go from the top to the bottom resolving whatever they would like to do, which is quite good. It works quite well actually, and it's not that hard to incorporate to the game. The setup and everything looks exactly the same, and you are playing your part just as you would against another player, which I really like. I love it when you do not change the gameplay too much. Now, this pamphlet might look quite big, but that is because there's also adventures in here, so you can actually set up your little own mini campaign and play it out against yourself. I loved this part. The rulebook is really well written. There is a lot of pictures showing how everything is done. There's not that much text in here. There's a lot of things guiding the players to get the game right already from the start. The setup looks good, everything is quite clear. And on the back you have all of those little symbols that I was talking about. So if you just have this faced up on the table, well, it's really not a problem for anyone to learn what the different symbols on the board means. And then we have the quality of the components and the artwork. Man, this is well made. The artwork is so beautiful, the components are so well made, the board has a nice feel to it, these little wagons, everything is just so well made and really beautiful, and it feels like everything has its spot. There's never really a question on where anything goes, and you can just feel the little dice here, the cards, everything. They have put down a lot of passion and a lot of love in creating these components and this game. It is just so well made. And a cool little thing here is the market board is actually magnetic. I mean, I just love a feature like this. You just flip it in there and then you turn it and twist it any way you would like. You put on your little dice here and then you can simply and easily just remove it. Ah, come on, that is awesome. There is even artwork on the back of the player board. Now, do we need this? No. No, we do not. But do we want it? Yes. Yes, we do. This is awesome. I mean, you could frame this and put it up on the wall. There you have it, my friend. That was Merchants of the Dark Road. I like this game a lot. It quite quickly became one of my favorites. I mean, the layout of the board, the little things you can do with your little wagons, the companions, everything that you have in this game is quite a lot of quality. It's well thought through and there is tons of replayability. There's a lot of things for the players to do in this game. I like this a lot. If you're into adventure, worker placement, well, try this game out. I think you're going to like it because it's quite well made. Also, it's just beautiful. But that was the video. If you want to know more about the game, there will be links down in the description, of course, so be sure to check that out to get more info about everything that's in this game. If you like this video, well, give me a thumbs up, throw in a comment there for me, subscribe to the channel, but most important, my friend, keep on spreading that board gaming love I know you all have.